From here on, nothing goes down unless I'm involved. No blackjack, no dope deals, no nothing. A nickel bag gets sold in the park. I want in.
Yes, peace, family. We are back once again with another verified DB teach tape. It's your gracious host, Mr. VDB, and I'm back once again to kick some game and flavor for all my young DBs out there. I know it's been a minute. It's been a minute, family, but nonetheless, we are back again with another teach tape. I hope all my young DBs, I hope you're doing good. I hope you've been taking care of your bodies. Now it's time to take care of the mental side of the game. Like I said, football is 90% mental, 10% physical, which I'm about to show you in these teach tapes like I always do. It's the mental things, the things that go on in your head that make you a great DB. But nonetheless, let's get straight into it. I know it's been long overdue. I'm gonna start putting out the tapes faster and faster now that football season is here. But let's get straight into it. This first play, a matchup between Mississippi State LSU. Darren Evans, a senior corner for LSU. You know, it's anybody who saw the highlights of this game can see that the DBU struggled this game. And it's not my idea to bash any DB. I salute any DB who steps out there on the field because, in my opinion, it's the toughest position to play on the field. But I'm just here to give you a little insight and a little game of where some of these DBs, in my opinion, went wrong. You dig? So let's jump straight into it. Now, on this play, the first thing I always tell young DBs on each play is understand positions of power. So my guy Darren Evans right here, he's lined up inside technique, which is kind of different from what normally LSU plays, and that's something we got to take into mind. LSU is with a new defensive coordinator this year, so now they're playing back inside technique because the old LSU, they would have been playing outside technique on this, trying to force it back in to the safety. You dig? But this time they're playing inside technique. Also, another thing that I'm peeping right now at DB, if I'm the cornerback on this play, I'm peeping where the receiver is lined up. He's lined up inside the numbers. To me, a wide receiver lined up inside the numbers this tight, that's signaling to me fade route. He's trying to give himself room for the fade. Because if he wasn't running a fade, he'd be lined up outside the numbers, trying to give himself room to work back inside. So I'm peeping that just from the pre-snap read. These are all things I'm thinking about at DB right now. My position of power, which is I cannot let him inside, and also looking at his positions of power, why is he lined up so far inside the numbers? That's signaling to me a fade route. We're in the red zone as well. So that's signaling to me a fade route. Big, long, linky receiver like this. Nonetheless, with that being said, let's go ahead and play the tape. Because I'm going to show you he makes two crucial mistakes right here. The first crucial mistake, let's just go ahead and talk about it. The eyes. Peep where his eyes are on this play. His eyes are in great position. They're on the hips pre-snap. However, when the ball is snapped, his eyes are high now. His eyes are high. If actually, when you look at the receiver's eyes are lower than the DB right here. The receiver makes an emphasis to get low, and now the DB never adjusts, and he's looking him eye to eye right here. That's a mistake. One thing to remember, the eyes always lie. The eyes always lie, guys. Pay attention to details. One thing you learn in Pop Warner ball is eyes on the hips. The hips don't lie, but the eyes do. The hips don't lie, but the eyes do, guys. He's too high on this play. So he's looking him eye to eye. Receiver gives him a little shake, and oh my goodness. He gets thrown completely out of position. The rest is history. Now it's time to strike up the band. It's a touchdown. It's a touchdown. Let's run it back. Second mistake he made. We know about the eyes. Watch his feet on this play. I don't like the footwork. I'm a DB. I believe in the inch back technique. I believe at having active feet at the line. And if you're not going to have active feet, have a conscious plan. Meaning if I'm a quick jam, then I know I'm a quick jam and get back. Have an active plan. If you're inching back, you should be scooching back right here. You want active feet at the line. What he does at the line is one of the worst things you can do at DB, which is he squats. He's flat-footed and he squats. Watch it. Boom. He gets flat-footed, he squats. Combine that with the fact that his eyes are looking at the eyes of the receiver, and this is a recipe for disaster right here. This is a recipe for disaster because what you're doing is you're pretty much guessing at this point. You're guessing. You're flat-footed, meaning if you miss, game over. If you miss, game over. So guess what he did? He missed, game over. Game over, guys. Eyes and feet. Remember, young DBs, you jam with your feet. You jam with your feet first. Your feet have to be in good position. His feet were not in good position. His eyes were in even worse position. You dig? Let's go to the next play. Now, this is later in the game. This is a young corner from Mississippi State later in the game. I can't pronounce his name, but this is a young corner. Mississippi State has a pretty good reputation for having some top-notch corners, last year being Cam Dantzler. But nonetheless, guys, the same thing still applies. When you're at DB playing off coverage, you want to stay square as long as possible. Trust me, you react better when you're square. You also cause the receiver to spend more time trying to open up your hips. But when your hips are already open, you're already giving him a green light outside. You're giving him a green light outside. Nonetheless, he opens up the hips. But he's still in pretty good position. He's still in pretty good position. Right here, after the receiver's declared his fade route. Guys, when a receiver declares a fade route, your number one goal should be, early in the route, to cut him off. Cut him off. Picture yourself as a driver on the highway. When you're a driver on the highway, if a car jumps in front of you, what do? You slam on the brakes, or you have to reposition into another lane. That's what you want the receiver to do. Reposition into another lane, because you let him know, listen, this lane is cut off right here. This lane is cut off. Or he's going to have to hit the brakes, or you're just going to run into me, and we both going to fall. And the referee is not going to call a penalty for getting our feet tangled up. You see what I'm saying? Nonetheless, in great position right here, but doesn't fight to cut him off. Doesn't fight to cut him off. Now, one thing he does do is he's in beautiful position to look back. He looks outside in first. And why is he looking outside? If you're even at DB, the first thing I'm expecting if I'm even is back shoulder. I'm expecting a back shoulder pass. A quarterback, great quarterbacks don't throw over the top when a guy's even. You see what I'm saying? So he looks back shoulder. Right here, I'm eliminated back shoulder. Back shoulder is not coming. However, what he does wrong, he never gets back inside. He never looks back inside. This ball's trajectory is now coming from the inside, not back shoulder. It's coming over the top. You see what I'm saying, guys? And instead, he's still looking back while the receiver's now located the ball, and he's already repositioned himself to go get it over the top. And because you didn't cut him off, because you're not in front of him, now you end up behind this guy. And the receivers doing what receivers do. They're going to get push-offs and stuff, guys. They're not going to call it at the end of the day. It's just part of the game. Now you're in trail position. You're in trail technique. And now you lose the play. But that's just simply from eye discipline and going through the route. You see what I'm saying? Eye discipline and going through the route. Outside, back in, guys. Outside, back in. Let me play it halfway through. Right here again, guys. Good position. Outside. Now your head should be swooping back in. And while you're doing this simultaneously, you should be pressure pointing, pushing this guy farther and farther to the sideline by leaning on him. Not playing handsy with him. Lean on him, guys. Cut him off. Run into him if you have to. That's part of the game. You dig? But nonetheless, loses this route. But this is a route he shouldn't have lost. He shouldn't have lost that route. Next play, again. DB, what am I peeping? Position of power. I'm peeping position of power right here. This guy is lined up super far. This is the outside receiver. This is Pitts on this play. This is a tight end. I'm thinking on this play, I'm inside position. This guy's damn near lined up on the hash mark. He's damn near lined up on the hash mark. So the number one thing I'm thinking is outside route. Big receiver, fade. I'm thinking fade on this play. Nonetheless, good position. I still don't like that he squatted on this play. I kind of don't mind it because he's going against a tight end. A tight end is not a quick twitch guy. On a tight end, you kind of don't want to inch back for the simple fact that these guys are normally not fast. You see what I'm saying? So you really want to get into a tight end. These big receivers, so you know you're faster than them, I don't mind you not inching back on that play. As long as you're ready to run, as long as you have a game plan. So obviously the game plan on this play was to get hands on him. Did a great job getting hands on him. I'll take that jam. Fought early on. Let me play it back. Fought early on to stay square with the footwork. Great job of widening the base of the receiver. Forced the receiver to do a wide release. Now, guys, again, goes back to the fundamentals. outside in. This guy never looks back. He's in perfect position. He's in perfect position. He never looks back, though. And the receiver looks back, and he gets the touchdown. This is a bad ball, really. This is an underthrown ball. Underthrown ball that the DB could easily pick off if he looks back. But you got to look back, guys, at the end of the day. If he looks back, if he does what we always talk about, let me play it back. If he does what we talk about right here and goes outside in, that's his ball. That's an interception. Again, that's so important, guys. When you're in position, being in position, having good footwork, having a good jam at the line, that's like working a 9 to 5 all week. But looking back at the ball is like going to the bank and actually cashing that check. Look, that's what you do when you look back for the ball. Now it's time to cash that check. I've done the hard part. I'm in phase with this receiver. I'm in perfect position. Now let me go cash this check. Let me look back for the ball and cash this check. You dig? So again, guys, right here on this play, going back to positions of power, we got our guy Eli Ricks right here, probably one of the most highly talented recruits at cornerback last year. 5-star cornerback, IMG Academy. I think he's originally from California. A lot of hype for him coming in. A lot of comparisons to Richard Sherman. So a good, young, talented corner. One thing, again, I don't care how talented you are, guys. I got to understand my positions of power. The game is still mental. Inside position on this play, he's highly guarding towards the inside. Also, I'm peeping the receiver's position of power. Why am I peeping the receiver's position of power? My red flags have went up. Why have my red flags went up? He's so far inside the numbers. What I'm thinking on this play, he's trying to work somewhere to the outside. He's trying to maybe position himself to get more room for a fade route. Remember, fading is you're fading to the sideline. You want to give your quarterback, receivers are taught to give their quarterback room to throw. So he's lined up very far inside the numbers, if I'm looking at it like this. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and play the position. Now, again, one thing I don't like this. Maybe LSU cornerbacks this year are being taught to do this. I don't like this. This flat-footed squatting at the line, guys, is very hard to defend these new age receivers. First of all, you can barely touch receivers nowadays without them throwing a flag. Number two, these guys are super fast, super quick. You got these Jared Judy type, Calvin Ridley types, very fast receivers, especially in the SEC. When you're flat-footed at the line, you're pretty much putting all your money on getting hands on this guy. What happens if you don't? If you don't, you're going to end up like his other teammate, Darren Evans, that we saw in the first clip. Flat-footed and getting left. You dig? Nonetheless, great job getting his hands on him. Great job getting his hands on him. But now the second step begins. The second thing I like he did, he got his hands on him at the line. But now he closes this cushion. Look at this cushion between them. I see a lot of DBs who just want to run alongside the receiver. No, close that cushion. Great job of getting to his hips, trying to fight to get over top. And now this is what I talk about, putting your back on him. I would rather him lean instead of putting that hand, but he does a great job to let the receiver know, listen, I'm in control of this route. I'm pressuring you. I'm pushing you out this play. Great job of getting his head back to the ball. I would rather him look outside in first to eliminate the back shoulder, but nonetheless, he guessed and he guessed right. The biggest thing is he looked back for the ball, and then he goes up, boom. Great job. Great interception on that play. Great interception on that play. A couple fine-tuned things, in my opinion, that he could critique, but nonetheless, great job on that play. Now, the last play we looking at is our guy, Jamie Robinson. This is a guy, and South Carolina has a lot of talented corners as well. Beside him to the right, Muhammad, who's probably going to be one of the top corners in next year's draft as well. They got Jace, I believe his name is Jace Horn. But this is Jamie Robinson. He was a all-SEC freshman last year. So great job. One thing I like on this play, peep the footwork early on. First of all, I love the stance of him. He's low. You can really tell his eyes are looking at the hips. And also, off back, this is what I mean by inch back technique. Look how he's inching back. Very patient at the line. Inching back, giving himself room to work and stay over top. He's not putting all his eggs and trying to get his hands on him at the line. Remember, you jam with your feet. You jam with your feet, not your hands. Your hands are secondary. But when the feet are in position, it's easy to put your hands in position. Great job of inching back. Also, a great job of fighting. He gives me one shuffle step. Let me throw that back real quick because it's real fast. When you get at the line like this, guys, and you just straight open up the gate and give him a free release like a lot of DBs do, trust me, that receiver is going to get as skinny as possible to leave himself all this room on the outside for the fade route, for his quarterback to throw. Great job of inching back, staying square, shuffling, making that receiver really work to get wide. Really work to get wide. Running to the hip, you should be pressuring him at this point. But he makes the common mistake. Again, family, you can't work a 9 to 5 all week. And then when it's time to cash a check, don't cash it. He never attempts to cash his check, meaning he doesn't look outside back in. He never looks back for the ball at all. And the receiver who's looking back for the ball is able to make a play on it. He's able to make a play. And that's a shame because he's in terrific coverage. And even not looking back at the ball, the receiver has to make a one-handed catch. Even not looking back at the ball, the receiver has to make a one-handed catch. But because you didn't look back at the ball, now that's an L for you. That's an L for you. So, guys, at the end of the day, it's about the fundamentals. At the end of the day, it's about the fundamentals. So, 2 things I want you to work on going into this new season. I want you to tighten up on your eye placement, guys. Eyes should be on the hips. The eyes will lie to you. That's why our eyes are on the hips. Number 2, I want you to work on your footwork at the line. I want you to work on inching back, especially for my DBs out there. If you're not running a 4-3, inch back. Inch back. And even if you are running a 4-3, work on being patient. I see a lot of DBs, you're too fast at the line. You're too hyper. You're so antsy to get your hands on a guy that your feet are all the way out of position. And it hurts you at the end of the day. Your feet are all the way out of position because your footwork is not where it needs to be at the line. So work on inching back. And also work on giving me one shuffle step, one square step before you cross over your feet and start running. Because that one little sideways step, that one little shuffle staying square is going to help to widen that receiver and help you out to cut down that space on the sideline. So that's today's Teach Tape, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's try to get this video, since we back coming out light, let's try to get this video to 75 likes. 75 likes if you want to see another Verified DB Teach Tape. It's your gracious host, Mr. VDB, and I'm out.